Hello, my name is Richard Drexler. I'm the VP Communications with Strategic Metals, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the company. We're a precious metals explorer focused in Yukon, Northern Canada, and we've got a large portfolio of shareholdings in other companies that we've built up over multiple years of successful project generation. So we've got a few forward-looking statements we'll go through here. And so the key highlights for Strategic Metals, this year we'll be focused on our flagship Mount Hinton project. That's a target that we own 100% interest in. We made some bonanza grade discoveries, prospecting and sampling there last summer. Gold results up to 2,340 grams gold. Number of visible gold samples found. It's in an area of excellent infrastructure in Yukon. We're also a majority shareholder of Rockin Resources. They've got a high-grade gold and silver deposit located in Yukon. We're still wide open for expansion. We're looking at doing updated economics fairly shortly. Should be coming out to the market, which should be well received. Also, a large portfolio of other investments in exploration companies, as well as TerraCo2, which is more of a technology type company that's working on a non-CO2 generating cement. So that's could be quite a disruptive technology to a multi-billion-dollar industry. And our team is made up of a number of people who've got a lot of experience exploring in Yukon. So we're working where we've got the best expertise, and our group's been involved with the discovery of both the highest grade gold deposits known in Yukon. So as a project generator, how we really build value for the company is by working counter-cyclically. And what I've shown in this chart here is how we've grown our property interests over time, and that's sort of the basis of the company. And you can see in the middle blue is the projects that we have under option to others, and that is really goes along with just the cyclicality of the industry. We've got early stage targets that we're able to vend out 30 to 50% of our portfolio when the markets are strong, and then we use the slower times when markets are weak to acquire targets. So over the decades, we've grown the assets of the company, and as you can see, by farming out companies in previous cycles, you can see our share price there. We get a lot of leverage to the exploration space during bull markets, and we're starting to get a lot more interest in projects the last little while, so we're anticipating that we're going to go into another strong market for the junior explorers. So our team is made up of a mix of geologists, lawyers, accountants, financial experts, lots of experience in public companies and in Yukon specifically. Currently have about 96 million shares outstanding, just over 108 million fully diluted. Most of the options and warrants in around the 40 to 45 cent range, so just slightly into the money. Strategic management holds around 10%. Large shareholders include Condor Resource Partners. One of their managing partners is the director of the company, Ryan Shedler, and Sprott Asset Management, who recently acquired their position when they acquired the Tocqueville Gold Fund. So where are we looking? Well, we're focused on the Northern Cordilleran Gold Province, and this is a part of the world that hosts over 400 million ounces of gold. So, a very small area with a huge amount of gold endowment. And as you can see, the majors have been making significant acquisitions and investments in this belt over the past few years. So without belaboring that too much, we're in a great part of the world, and so we have decided to focus our attentions on the Mount Hinton project this summer. It's a very well located project. The Mount Hinton shows up in red here on the map. We're directly adjacent to Alexco's Keno Hill operation. This is right in the heart of one of the most prolific silver camps in the entire world. Also part of the Tombstone Gold Belt, which is a series of intrusions that powers mineralization at other nearby gold deposits, such as the Victoria Gold's Eagle deposit, which is expected to go into commercial production this year, over 200,000 ounces per year production coming out of there. So we're not only a world-class district for silver deposits, also for gold deposits. And so what really got us excited about Mount Hinton was back in 2016, there was a placer discovery down in the southern portion of the claim block that's noted with a small star on the red there. And since then, the road access to much of our property has greatly improved, which has allowed us to get into the southern basin and do a lot of exploration where it previously hadn't been explored by the old timers. even though we were so close to such a prolific mining camp. And so in 2019, we were following up some great soil geochem results, and we made a number of very high-grade discoveries, including the over 2,000 gram golden float sample there that's highlighted on the hill. Here's a little bit of a zoom into that area. So following up on the very high-grade sample that did in fact turn out to host visible gold, we found a number of other high-grade gold and silver samples that were associated with some parallel structures. So what we've done since is bring the heavy equipment in and start constructing a road back and forth up that hillside across the zones. The road will allow us to drill test this target in 2020 using ground access, as well as provide trench results as we go back and forth across the zone. So here we are zooming out a little bit just to show you the scale of this project. As you can see, the 2 kilometer scale bar down at the bottom. So this is not a small target area. This is a very large target area. The photo from the previous page is up in the top right-hand corner. As you can see, a lot of bonanza grade type results, over an ounce per ton. A lot of samples that have actually been sampled over 1 to 2 meter widths as well show up in here. So we've got a program has just got underway up at Mount Hinton this summer. We're starting with continuing on with our road construction and trenching and mapping, with drilling to follow up later this summer. So aside from the Mount Hinton, we've got a number of large share interest in other companies, mainly Rockin Resources, 36% interest. They've got a high-grade gold and silver deposit, road accessible, located in Yukon. It continues to grow. We're a 20% shareholder in Precipitate Gold that's going to be doing an initial drill test at their Ponton project, and they just signed a $10 million earn-in deal with Barrick Gold. And TerraCo2 Technologies is a disruptive technology relating to cement production and mine site remediation, where we are a majority shareholder. So touch on Rockin for a second. Very high-grade deposit, well located. As you can see, they already have a very significant resource outlined, and they'll be moving towards putting out new economics here shortly. Multi-million ounce potential based on similarities of this deposit to other world-class deposits. And we've got a district scale land position there. As you can see, the resource, currently about 1.6 million ounces of gold equivalent, is only in the purple dashed areas in the center. We have lots of room to expand this, lots of drill hits outside of the existing resource. So there's no doubt in our mind that this truly does represent a multi-million ounce deposit and discovery. There's the Porgera plan map for scale, just to show, similar type deposits have similar size footprints. And here, when we overlay the Clazo resource model on top of Buritica, we see that the potential for resource expansion here, where some of our highest grade results are right at the bottom of our deposit, and these type of results can be virtually rootless. You can see at Buritica, they've drilled down 4 times what we've drilled already. And so if we were to extend that vertical another 4 times, it's not hard to see that we'd be able to add 4 times the ounces. Here's a couple of the highlights from just the deepest holes from each of the zone in the current resource. And as you can see, there's some wonderful grades right along the margin of the deposit. So we're by no means closed off at depth, and we've got lots of parallel structures, as demonstrated on the previous slide. Equity interest in Precipitate, a few projects located in the Dominican Republic. This is an example of sort of the long life generation of from project generation, or sorry, long-term value build of project generation. We acquired our initial position in Precipitate by providing projects at their IPO, and we've subsequently participated in some financings to maintain and increase our position based on the projects and the team involved here. So looking forward to them getting going in the Dominican this year. And finally, off to the TerraCo2 Technologies could dwarf everything in our portfolio if this is successful. The prize here is incredibly large. Global cement production is responsible for roughly 7% of global CO2 emissions, and our scientists at TerraCo2 are developing a replacement for Portland cement, where we can use things such as mine tailings and dredge material and all sorts of different feedstocks, which look as though our basically our input costs could be zero to negative, and the early tests show that our product is already cost competitive with the existing products out there. Yeah, we wouldn't be emitting CO2, so it's could be quite a disruptive technology. So we just brought in some strong independent management there. Bill Yearsley is now the CEO. He was formerly running Redlands, but before they were taken up by Lafarge. So lots of industry knowledge there. Some of our other equity investments have been over the top three. Some of the others include the Silver Range Resources as a project generator working in adjacent jurisdictions to us. Attack Resources has 2 high-grade gold deposits in Yukon that they're advancing toward production. GGL Resources has a large diamond portfolio in the Northwest Territories, some royalty interests along strike of known operations or of existing operations, as well as a copper gold porphyry target in British Columbia. Then there's a number of other smaller positions that we've acquired either through the open market or with property transactions that always have the potential to add some serious value for our shareholders. So catalysts coming up for strategic, drilling at Mount Hinton, very well located, very high grade, lots of known mineralization, improving infrastructure. Rockhaven Resources already has a very significant asset. They'll be looking at putting some new economics on that this summer, so keep an eye out for that. Precipitate Gold, initial drilling, and TerraCo2 advancing towards commercialization. Strategic has done 6 project deals in the last year, and we anticipate doing some more in the future as this cycle starts to develop. And like my chart at the start showed, we've got a lot of leverage to the exploration space. So I hope you'll take some time to visit with Strategic Metals. Thank you very much.